and confiscated championship points had been redistributed. Lauda was now only 3.5 points ahead, which meant that if Prost finished first, Lauda had to be second or he would not be champion. The mathematics of it all were perhaps lost on some of the local entrepreneurs. And so, in every sense, it all came down to Estoril. The smart place to be was in the McLaren pit. Princess Stephanie was there, disguised as a boy. Lauda reckoned she was Prost's problem. Rain stopped practice, so the mechanics played football. The heavy police presence tried to confiscate the ball. Mansell got the ball back. Lauda and Prost disappointed the journalists by behaving like the gentlemen they both are. Piquet had won his 9th motor scooter, and once again Prost was beside him. Senna and Rosberg were in the second row. Lauda started from 10th, 9 places from the championship. Piquet goofed with the clutch, and Rosberg came sizzling down the outside to lead on the first curve from Mansell. Prost, Piquet, Senna, Alboreto, De Angelis, and the 2 Renaults. After the Renaults came Johansson's Tolman and both the Alphas, and only then Lauda in 13th place, 3 worse than when he'd started. Biding your time is one thing, but this looked like lethargy. Piquet spun off on the first lap and rejoined low down the field. Rosberg put distance between himself and Mansell, but Mansell could not do the same with regard to Prost, who eventually went by into second place. Lauda made progress as far as Johansson, who was running 6th. Prost slipstreamed Rosberg down the long straight and then outbraked him with cruel ease. Rosberg then found Mansell trying the same maneuver. Rosberg chopped Mansell out, crying the Finnish words for, "I remember Dallas, you pommy bastard." But on the next lap, Mansell's Lotus had what Rosberg's Williams hadn't. Held up for a long time by Johansson, Lauda remembered his mistake at the Nürburgring and didn't repeat it. Lauda bided his time for many laps and eventually saw daylight. Johansson butted him, but it was a farewell gesture. Lauda's next obstacle was in 5th place, Alboreto. But the long straight settled that. Prost had no one to overtake except back markers. But Lauda still had 3 cars between him and the championship, or 2 after he took Rosberg. Senna was running strongly in 3rd place, but he couldn't keep Lauda out of his slipstream. Lauda swept past Senna, but still had 1 car, Mansell's, between himself and the great prize. Alboreto spun off in 5th place, but kept going. Mansell's spin was more serious. One of his front brakes was grabbing. You could see smoke coming out of it when he got going again. This was all that Lauda could have hoped for, but that was no consolation to Mansell as Lauda raced by into 2nd place. Mansell did his bulldog breed best to get back what he had lost, but the brake had popped a caliper and soon threw him off definitively. Mansell kept going, but it was now clear that he was going only as far as the pits. Lauda couldn't catch Prost and didn't need to, so he prudently turned down the boost. Prost did the same and ran out an easy winner of the race, some compensation for the loss of the championship. Lauda came home to his third World Championship, with the lapped Piquet and Rosberg, both ex-world champions themselves, saluting him like chase planes. The season had been almost a monopoly for the McLarens, but it had not been dull, mainly because Prost and Lauda had raced each other. If Fangio and Moss had been allowed to do that, or Andretti and Peterson, who knows what might have been. Senna looked as if he might belong up there, but Lauda and Prost had proved something. They were equals.
He was the toughest guy to beat, as far as I know. The toughest guy, so therefore this championship is the most important one for me.
How many times have I asked you not to call me at work? And that was how the story came out. The old hand won again, and the new boy has to wait. The old hand took victory as he takes defeat philosophically. In his own words, next year it all begins again. And really it's already next year. The new season starts here on the same day the old one ends. The race for the great prize never stops.